the best team in the National League.
Okay, I went to the game on Wednesday, the very exciting Mets-Dodgers game, the Brandon Nimmo catch, the trumpets. I've never seen anyone have more fun at a baseball game than Timmy Trumpet was having. It was delightful. I'm so happy for all the Mets fans. But it's the Dodgers. It just is. Like, I understand the temptation to sort of look at these three teams in particular and say that, like, okay, well, where the Dodgers have the lineup and the legacy and the pedigree, that the Mets and Atlanta have these rotations, and so often that's what it comes down to in the postseason is the starters. Unfortunately, that crumbles when you look at the actual numbers and realize that the Dodgers have the best starting pitcher ERA in all of baseball, best starting pitcher whip. They had the lowest BABIP. Their defense is doing a lot of work to keep those ERAs down. You go to the bullpen, they have the third best bullpen ERA. It's like, I realize that they're dealing with a ton of injuries, but they're getting such incredible production out of guys like Andrew Heaney and Tyler Anderson that somehow their pitching is still good too. And that's not even the thing. The thing is the lineup, but it's somehow still that, like, even the things that look like strengths on these other two teams, the numbers say the Dodgers are better there, too.
How surprising is it to you that despite starting pitching woes and injuries that they're still able to keep this pace?
I mean, it's a real testament to why they've been able to define themselves as one of the most sustainably good teams in all of baseball. I mean, I think that's what's, like, one of the more incredible things. This was a crazy stat that was it. Since 2013, they have 72 more wins all these years combined than the second place team, which is the Yankees, which just speaks to the fact that, like, not only is this team good, and you talked about how they could be setting new records for the Dodgers themselves, and that's after almost a decade of being one of the best teams in all of baseball.
And you saw Clayton Kershaw kind of have a rough first inning yesterday, and then all of a sudden he's retiring 13 in a row. What do you think, Hannah? Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, that's the greatest compliment I've ever gotten in my life, to be called Hannah. So thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we don't need to overthink this. It's obviously the Diamondbacks. No, I'm sorry. I'll be serious. It's the Diamondbacks. I'm not throwing shade on the Diamondbacks. I legitimately love the Diamondbacks. It was really fun to see them in a crazy series versus the Phillies, and I think that their team is heading in all kinds of fantastic places. But yes, it is the Dodgers. They have a 284 run differential this year. So that is more than 90 runs better than the next best team, the Yankees. And it is more than twice as good as the Braves at 141 or the Mets at 129. So I feel like run differential is great because it tells so much of the story. Really, that encapsulates their fantastic offense, obviously led by a number of superstars. You know, they have a 121 WRC plus as a team this year. Their whole team is 21% better than league average. And that's the best sort of team WRC plus since 2019, since the 2019 Astros. And obviously, Hannah was talking about everything that their pitching staff has done and how much, again, yes, I think that speaks to their organizational depth, that they can be like, not only are we going to create fantastic homegrown starters like Urias, like, you know, I know Gonsolin's on the IL right now, but also, you know, we can take Heaney, we can take Anderson, we can be like, we know just the thing to do to take you to the next level. So I think that's what makes it. It has to be the Dodgers.
All right, so we've gotten Ellen's opinion, we got Hannah's opinion. X, are you steering away from this consensus?
No, I'm not. But for a minute, I thought we were. I thought we were giving the Diamondbacks love for some reason. I was trying to think of things that I like about the Diamondbacks, but let's get back to the point at hand, right? This is a Dodgers team from a consistency power standpoint, and that's the one thing that's going to come into play when we talk about the playoffs. You start facing starters that are the upper echelon type of pitchers. You're facing the best pitchers. You need power in the lineup. That's one thing that the Dodgers do have. They're fifth in MLB in home runs. The Mets are 17th. So you come into play, you talk about guys throughout that whole lineup in the Dodgers that can take you deep. It's tough in the playoffs to string together 3 straight hits and to get a run. It's a little bit easier when you have guys in the whole lineup that can hit homers. So Hannah and Ellen, both, you guys touch on amazing numbers that the Dodgers are leading in so many statistical areas. But ultimately, I think it comes down to the power of the Dodgers lineup. Every guy can hurt you by going deep.
I was talking to Trey Turner, so I went to the ballpark to talk to the Dodgers about how do you do this? How do you stay good year after year? And I thought that Trey Turner would have an interesting perspective. I said, you were on the 2019 Nationals. It's a team, we already know they won the World Series, so like what feels different when you're on a team that not only has sort of World Series winning potential the Dodgers won in 2020, but is able to be good year in, year out? And he said, that 2019 Nationals team, we had so much fun. We were like vibing and clicking, and we loved each other, and we hung out. And he said, I think this 2022 Dodgers team, we'd be good even if we didn't like each other. There's just so much talent.
There's that much talent.
He was like, the preparation that the sort of everyone involved, the coaches, the front office, like the way that they put people in positions to succeed. He was like, it's not about, I think so much about teams like the Braves last year or the 2019 Nationals is about that sort of like lightning in a bottle, that getting hot at the right time. And the Dodgers are teams like, they don't always win the World Series, but they almost are always like just the best team.
They transcend chemistry.
Think that's a really good point. But the one thing I do want to say is that the Mets have been able to do so many things that the Dodgers have been able to do. When you talk about like that next man mentality, next man up, the Mets have been doing that consistently as well. But I just look at, okay, the Mets have a great 1-2 punch, but we still look at if one of those guys like Mookie Betts, who's playing at an MVP level, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, who's getting going right now, he's been as productive as anybody. One of those guys clips you and takes you deep for a 2-3 run homer, that changes the game immensely, especially in the playoffs.